superstar. He is an absolute superstar, Tom Mitchell. Cripps at the back. Cripps is too good. Neil, yes! Oh, how good was that?
I want to set the scene here, Gids. So you've rocked up to a local basketball stadium in Frankston. What is the opponent who's guarding you thinking when Josh Giddey, the Chicago Bulls point guard, rocks up?
Well, the team we played was actually like a good team. They were like youth league NBL 1 players, so they weren't like I was expecting to be like older guys, just a cruisy Monday night game. But these guys could actually play. So we got smashed. We lost by like 30, and they were slowly blowing us out, and we were trying to get back in the game. And once it got to 20, 25 points, we knew the game was kind of out of reach. But these guys were actually good. One of them had 50, another one had 41, so they could actually play.
What was their team score?
115 or something.
Genuine shootout.
So yeah, no, they didn't miss. They blew us out, but I guess they obviously didn't know I was coming down, and we didn't know until probably 90 minutes before the game started that we were going to play, either me and Pat. So a lot of fun, but probably shouldn't have done it.
It's always quite funny when the opposition and the refs are getting photos with an opposition player after the game. I saw photos everywhere. Yeah. How was it though? Because I find that authentic version of you just rocking up, just loving basketball. It's pretty cool.
It was fun. And I used to do it like as a kid growing up. You'd play in these weeknight comps, and I used to look forward to it all week at school. And obviously I hadn't done it for a long time because it's, I'm playing the NBA now, so coming home and playing in Monday night Frankston comps is probably not at the top of my priority list. But that feeling of like rocking up on a Monday 5 minutes before the game tipped off and just throwing on shoes and playing in those type of environments was a lot of fun for me, and I used to love doing it. And the feeling came right back to me once I got out there. So obviously I wasn't playing too hard, but just that enjoyment of getting to play with friends and in a rec or domestic game, that enjoyment came right back from when I used to do it as a kid.
I can see myself post-footy having a run around, whether it's basketball or footy, but with your mates you grew up with, like you always have those bonds from junior sport, which is your absolute best memories. But Paddy's obviously one of your best mates who would have loved it. But you mentioned you might have got in a bit of trouble. You probably shouldn't have been out there. But what's actually the go there? Because currently you're a restricted free agent, so you're not actually contracted to anyone.
Well, I mean, I don't know exactly the rules around it in terms of playing in the game. Like, in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have done it. And I don't know if it's got anything to do with who I'm contracted with or whatever that is, but more so the fact if I got hurt doing it, that brings another...
You were cruising though.
Yeah, I made sure I
were going slow.
Stayed very out of tried to stay out of the key as much as possible. I kind of just floated around the 3-point line. But I had Daniel, my agent, was furious with me.
Really?
Because he's in LA, so he texts me overnight. But for people that know me and know how close I am with Daniel, so it wasn't like it was an angry thing and we never speak. We talk to each other every day. So he was not happy. But in hindsight, I shouldn't have done it. But retrospect, it actually turned out to be a good thing. I got to be involved with basketball outside of where I normally do. So
it's the love of the game. It's the Michael Jordan's love of the game clause that he had. You just want to play anywhere, anytime.
Exactly. So I would love to play, and I've tried to ask in the NBA if I can come home and play in the NBL 1, do things like that, because it just keeps me playing, keeps me in game shape. Because as we spoke about, there's no better way to stay in game shape than playing. So I've always wanted to just keep playing. Obviously, it's different on a Monday night in Frankston, but just basketball in general, anytime I can play it, I try to.
What were your numbers?
They weren't anything special. I think I had 20. So
you're playing better in the NBA than you are in Frankston.
Yeah, pretty much. Different stakes. I probably wasn't trying as hard as I do in the NBA, but a lot of fun.
So your stats, actually, I was looking at earlier at StatMate, an app, and I was looking at your stats post All-Star break, which were incredible. So 21.2 points, 10.7 rebounds, 9.3 assists. And I made sure I memorized that because that is All-Star caliber numbers, which is insane. So it's a credit to you and all the work you did in the off-season. I saw you train twice a day. You're probably doing the same right now. It's incredible. But what was it for you that enabled you to do that?
It took me a while to get going. The first half of the year was so slow, and I obviously coming into a new situation, I didn't want to step on any toes. I wanted to try and fit in without, making it about myself or without trying to divert the team too much of what they had already built. And I knew obviously losing Caruso was a big piece to what they did. So I tried to come in and just fit in without ruffling feathers or anything. And then once the deadline hit, obviously we made some trades. And when Zach got traded, that obviously left a big hole because he was a big part of what we were doing. So, post All-Star break, I tried to just be more aggressive. I stopped trying to, I don't want to say I stopped trying to fit in, but I tried to get back to me and how I am as a player. And once I did that, I felt like I got my confidence, that swagger back that you need when you play. And once you have a few good games, you start to build some momentum. It can be a snowball effect, and that's what I found in the second half of the year. So I tried to just keep that momentum rolling throughout those last, 30, 40 games. And it worked out. We won. Our record was really good heading into the postseason. Obviously, didn't end the way we wanted to. But, personally, I felt like I finally got going. It took me forever. I felt like I was in a slump for so long. And once I finally clicked out of it after the break, maybe it was a trip to Cabo that gave me that reset. But, I felt great coming back from All-Star.
It is a thing, though, isn't it? I've moved teams in footy, and when you come into a new environment, you obviously know what your talents are, but you do want to try and find your way and not step on toes. And especially as a young player, there would be a lot of egos, I can imagine, in the NBA. But like you said, by the end of the season, it looked like your Bulls teammates embraced you and they wanted the ball in your hands. And, if you look at, let's talk about the buzzer beater over LeBron James, the embrace you get after that. Yeah. Obviously, you've won the game, but constantly that back half of the season, your team wanted the ball in your hands. But talk to us about the buzzer beater over LeBron James. And do you have a photo of that in your house somewhere?
Yeah. So I have, the Bulls did the next morning I walked into the facility, they had this massive canvas of the picture on it. Because there was one from in front where I'm kind of walking towards the camera, holding my follow through. And then there's one from the opposite, the other baseline where it's behind me. So they had one of each, but the canvas was, I think, in front. So they gave that to me. It was a pretty cool, it's huge. And I got that in my house. I have a big frame as well.
Get
of
LeBron and Luka to sign it.
Yeah. But cool night. I mean, and the shot obviously gets a lot of attention, but we were down 9 points with 15 seconds left, and there was a lot that had to go right to lead up,
game.
To that shot going. And we went up, and then Austin Reeves hit that layup with 3 seconds left. We had no timeouts, and I tried to get the ball into Kobe quick. They denied him. I threw it to Pat, and he was kind of stuck awkwardly on the sideline. So I started trailing the play, and he threw it back to me, and the best shot, because LeBron was standing right in front of me, and the best shot I could get was from where I shot it. And if I kept dribbling, the clock probably would have ran out. So I just let it fly, and luckily it went in.
Do you have a feel with those half-court shots, because you probably practice them for a bit of fun all the time?
Yeah.
A feel for that's going in. Did you have that feeling?
Yeah, I did, and that's kind of why I held my follow-through and kept walking, because when it left my fingertips, it felt good. And you practice those shots, but the way I shot it was like a jump shot. I took 2 dribbles and shot a normal jump shot. I guess when your adrenaline's flowing, it's easier to do those type of things. But if I went out there now and tried to shoot a jump shot from half court, it'd be nowhere near as easy as that. So, it felt good. I was walking when I shot the ball right to where Pat was sitting with one of my other boys, Fred, and they were standing, and I was looking at them, and the ball was going through the air, and when it went in, I held my follow-through and was just walking right towards them. So they're in one of the photos that I've got. But it was a really cool night, and obviously, we celebrated, and yeah, it was a fun night.
Yeah, I can imagine. I saw you were out with your mates that night, and so you should have been. What about the reception from the Chicago basketball community?
Yeah.
When you walk around the streets of Chicago now, when people see you, how often does the shot get brought up?
Yeah, I mean, a lot. It was, and I probably didn't know how worldwide it was until maybe the next day, because I got off my phone that night. I left it, and we went out to dinner, me, Pat, Fred, and just hung out with them. So try to stay off it. But yeah, I mean, I guess the Chicago community's been great. And when I first got there, I was a little nervous, because obviously they didn't know me as a person, as a player. They didn't know who I was, and they obviously traded a big piece, Caruso, for me. So I was a little when I first got to Chicago, I didn't know how they were going to react to me being there. But I think slowly over time, I started to win them over a little more and more, and us as a team got better and better as the year went on. So those things, winning helps, winning solves all problems, and I think once we started to do that towards the back end of the year, hopefully that started to get a little better. But yeah, I was a little anxious when I first got there, because I didn't know how they were going to react to me being there.
And it's such a big sporting city.
Yeah.
Is there still a Michael Jordan aura around Chicago?
Yeah, there's a big statue in the arena, but I don't know, because I don't know if he never came to I never met him or anything like that, so I don't know what his presence is like in Chicago. Obviously, the Bulls are famous because of Jordan. It's a complete global brand, and anywhere you go in the world, you find Lakers jerseys, Celtics jerseys, and always Bulls jerseys. So, and obviously Jordan's a massive part to that. But I've never met him. I've never seen him around Chicago, so I don't know what his deal is with the Bulls, or relationship is like with people at the Bulls. But
Scottie Pippen, is Scottie Pippen ever around?
Nah, never seen him either. The only one I've seen Dennis Rodman once. He came to one of the games with his family. He was courtside, but out of those three, I've never seen Scottie or Michael.
Yeah, and talk to us about, so this is obviously very different to AFL. Free agency is new in AFL, but in terms of the NBA, it's been something that's been around for a long time. So talk to us about what a restricted free agent actually means and what it currently means for your situation.
Yeah, so restricted free agent is basically the team that you're with has the rights to you. So, for example, if another team was to offer me a contract, the Bulls can match it. They have the ability to match it, and I'd stay in Chicago. They also have the ability to not match it, and then you can leave to whatever team it is. So that's kind of what restricted free agency is. Unrestricted free agency is you can go wherever you want.
And they can't. Too bad. You can't
they don't
match
ever say. Yeah.
And how do you get to unrestricted?
So I think I might be wrong, but no, I'm not wrong about this. On a rookie,
You're not wrong about much.
No, not this. But on a rookie contract, you're restricted at the end of it.
Yep.
And so rookie contract is 4 years. The one I am on is 4 years, and then you can sign an extension after your third or your fourth year. And I'm at the end of my fourth now, so extension eligible, restricted. But say I sign whatever, for argument's sake, I sign a 4-year deal after this season,
600 mil,
whatever it is, and then play out the year. And then once it gets to the end of the fourth year of that deal, then I'm unrestricted. Then I can go wherever. Then you can kind of pick where you want to go. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that's right.
Yeah.
But right now, yeah, obviously restricted, and Bulls have got first right to anything, and yeah.
So you'll most likely be a Bull, but it's not guaranteed.
Yeah, I mean, the NBA, nothing's guaranteed. You know?
That's true.
Like, you can get traded, you can get waived, you can get whatever. You know, it's always kind of up in the air. So I guess contract negotiations, you know, they kind of start soon, and it's, you know, they can be a process sometimes because agents and teams go back and forth. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, these things are kind of, once it's season's done, it's out of my control. You know, I don't have a lot to do with it now.
Yeah.
So we kind of see how it plays out.
Yeah. Last question on the Bulls. So you played in the play-in game. Was that against Dyson, Atlanta?
No, Miami.
Sorry, it was against Miami. What was that like in terms of, do you like the concept of a play-in tournament? It's a one-game series. Mm-hmm. Do you like the concept, and did it feel like a genuine playoff game, even though it wasn't quite the playoffs?
Oh, no, it did. And because the Bulls, like, we pack out the arena every night. You know, it doesn't matter who we play, what day of the week it is, but they've been starving for playoff basketball for so long. And once we got to that playing game, it was just packed in there. And obviously it wasn't a game. We were down 25 at halftime, so we obviously didn't give the fans what they were hoping for that night. But the atmosphere was unbelievable. You know, T-shirts on the seat, and the plane. I love the plane. I think it's great. I think it adds to teams that are maybe at the bottom end of the standings. They can still climb into the playoffs if they get that 9th or 10th seed. And
it's
teams,
excitement for those fan bases.
Yeah,
you know, they're thinking about bringing it into AFL next year.
Yeah, I did hear that,
which would be so cool. Imagine, let's just say this year, who's around 10th? Like, let's just say it's Carlton. If they're playing in a playing game, that would be
unbelievable.
90,000 at the G.
Do or die game, you know. It's and it puts pressure on the players because that's it. You lose, you're done. You win, you keep moving forward. So I love the idea. I think it's great, and I think bringing it to the AFL would be awesome. And I know a lot of people have mixed feelings about it because they don't want the AFL to keep moving towards, you know, American sports the way that's going. But I think it's an awesome idea.
I love it.
But, you know, see how they do.
Yeah. Yeah, well said. How are you enjoying watching the footy back home at the moment? I know you love it.
Yeah.
How many games have you been to in how many weeks?
Jeez. We're there every weekend, sometimes twice, but it just depends on who's playing. Like, I obviously Pies games I try to get to. Collingwood Geelong, I was there. So I try to get to the primetime games if it's Friday night, Saturday night, Thursday. So, me and all my friends, we love going. So as much as we can, we're there.
So good. Would you say you're a Pies or Hawks man right now?
Bit of both. I mean, I've been to 2 Hawks games, 2 Pies games, so
True.
I guess I'm
50-50
splitting them right now.
We'll convert you hopefully by the end of this year.
Yeah.
Last question I wanted to ask you, because I think the buzzer beater is going to be an iconic moment remembered for your whole career, and you're only early in your career still. But has there been any commentary over there from LeBron or Luka? Have you heard anything? Have they ever mentioned anything to you? Have you met those guys?
Yeah, I've met them both, but I don't know. I don't know if they've ever been asked or said anything about it. I assume not. Like, they wouldn't want to be commenting on another team's, like, you know, them losing the game.
Yeah.
They might have got asked that night in the press conference, but after that, I doubt it.
Yeah. And who wins the chip this year? Because you've obviously had a superstar season individually. The team didn't quite get there, but you're obviously on the build. You're watching the NBA closely right now. Who do you think is the team to beat? Who comes out of the East?
Yeah.
And who comes out of the West? Because as it sits right now, while we're recording this pod, I'm not sure when it'll be released, but OKC is 1-1 with Denver. Boston's 2-0 down to the Knicks, which is scary position. What do you think is going to happen? Who's going to come from where? Warriors, Wolves? What's going to happen?
Well, we'll break it down series. I think Warriors, Wolves depends on Steph.
I'm going to get this up, the bracket. I'll get the bracket up while you're talking.
It depends if Steph is healthy or if he comes back. If he's not healthy, I think the Wolves win it.
Really?
That series. OKC, Denver, I think OKC wins it.
Yeah.
Denver got a big Game 1 win, so that was big for them to go back home, tie it up. I think Boston, New York, I don't know. I thought Boston was a team to come out the East, but now down 0-2 going to New York is tough. And then Indiana, Cleveland, again, down 0-2 going home, back to Indiana, it's tough. So I really don't know. If I had to guess right now, I'd say it's New York versus OKC in the finals. But
New York versus OKC in the finals.
if I had to guess right now,
wow, that's insane. Imagine New York, we'd be buzzing.
oh yeah, wild. But I also think Boston is, if there's any team that can come back from down 0-2, it's Boston.
I think Boston will still find a way. Not that I know anything, but I still think they've got that championship pedigree. The Pacers are always a team that are up there that have they've got star players, Siakam and Halliburton and these guys, but they just always fly under the radar.
Yep, I agree. And I mean, obviously Cleveland had some guys injured in the games they just won, but Indiana's a good team, and obviously the Cavs did what they did this year, but Indiana's a good team, and now going back home up 2-0 they put themselves in a great position to win the series.
I was listening to a podcast by TJ McConnell, and he was talking about the even spread of the Indiana Pacers, and that how they're programmed to pick up full court every game, no matter the situation.
Yep.
Do you sense that out there that they're wired differently and that they have to play like that to be in this position? Whereas some teams are probably more talented, like let's just say the Lakers.
Yeah.
They'll just fold back on D, but the Pacers play full court all game, every game, whole season.
I think they're the toughest team to play because offensively they play so fast. They get it out the net and they run. They had a historic offense last year where they had the most points ever in a season, and obviously Tyrese is a big part of that. But they got great players across the board. They're well evenly spread, good defensive team. Their second unit's very good. Obviously TJ is a big part of that. So they're a good team, underrated team, I think. And I think Tyrese is starting to become underrated as well. He's a superstar in the NBA, in my opinion. What he does postseason, especially now.
He got voted the most overrated player.
It's like a players poll.
It's a players poll.
Yeah.
And then he hit that shot the other day and shut a few people up.
Yeah. He's a really good player. I think his game's a little unorthodox, and that's probably why people think that. But he's an all-star in the league, and I think, he probably is earning more respect now doing what he's doing with the Pacers in the playoffs, but he's a hell of a player.
What about the Thunder Nuggets series? So, like you mentioned, you expect the Thunder to get through. How do you go watching your old team? Is it a funny feeling? Like, obviously, they're a star team. When you were there, they're still very good. How do you feel? Because there's that... I've left teams, and there's that part of you that you want your mates to do good, and you're very close with all those OKC boys. There's a part of you that's like, if they succeed, you almost don't want them to in a way. You'd hate to miss out.
No, I get it. And when I left, I always thought that I would be like, damn, I hope these guys miss the playoffs. I hope these guys, don't have any success. But now watching it, like as a season, I've seriously loved watching it. And I watched them play, obviously the Bulls, but the next team I'd watch the most is OKC. Like I love them, and I'm so close with a lot of the guys there. So that's probably the main thing. But like I genuinely root for those guys and want them to win the championship. I'm just so close with so many people there, and if I'm back in the States, I'm going to try and get to OKC for a game to watch them because and it's more so that place is unbelievable to playing in the playoffs. Like OKC fans are unbelievable, and as I said, the relationships I've got with the players, like I genuinely hope that if the Bulls don't win it, I hope the Thunder win it because I'm close with the guys, and really, that organization was so good to me through my 4 years there. So I wish them and those guys nothing but the best, and love watching them play.
Love to hear that. They better have a seat courtside for you.
Yeah, no, I know Matt Tomlinson, who handles all the tickets and everything, so spoke to him about it.
I better be courtside.
Yeah, I know.
So, all right, so you think Thunder will win the chip then, in that case?
I think... I don't know. It depends who comes out the East. If it's New York coming out the East, I think the Thunder win. If Boston comes out the East, I think Boston can beat OKC.
Gotcha.
So,
and who's the MVP this season?
Shea.
Shea wins?
Yep.
Over Jokic?
Yep.
Why? How? What's your opinion? Because it's very divided out there. I think Shea will win purely because OKC's record as well.
Yep.
But Jokic is having arguably career best season.
Yeah. No, I mean, it could go either way. I think, not to discredit Shea, what he's done has been unbelievable. But, I think voter fatigue comes in at some point. He's won 3 MVPs, and Shea's had a historic season. And I think this year he's rightfully deserved the MVP. I think he's going to win it, and I think he should. But, any other year, in a lot of, probably 95% of any other season, Jokic would win it. The season he's had as well has been unbelievable. But, Shea's been elite. He's been elite for a number of years now, and I think this is his time to win it. I think he's been the best player this year in the NBA, and he'll get rewarded for it.
Good to hear. All right. So that's where I should be putting my money.
I'd say so.
Mate, great to chat. I know you're a busy man here in Australia, so we appreciate you coming by for Ball Magnets, as always, helping us out, and we're going to do great things. So thanks very much for the chat.
All good, Tommy.
Good work.